the idea that you need to do a certain amount of pulling for each set of pushing you do, and that the ratio of upper body pushing to pulling strength is super important. I think part of that may come just kind of from reasoning from analogy. So you go back, not even all that long ago, maybe like 20 years ago or so, there was a lot of research looking at quad to hamstring strength ratios. And there were some suggestions that if you had way stronger quads relative to your hamstrings, that might predispose you for risk of ACL tears and hamstring strains. I haven't checked in on that research in a long time. I don't know if that's still the current consensus view within the field. But that was something that a lot of people were concerned about, and there was some preliminary research suggesting that that may be the case, that if your quads are way too strong and or your hamstrings are way too weak, you might strain your hamstrings more frequently, might tear your ACLs more frequently. And so I wonder if some of the concerns around shoulder health were just kind of reasoning from analogy based on that research, where if strength ratios across the knee seem to matter to some degree for injury risk, maybe that's a generalizably true phenomenon that you can generalize to other joints. And so, that may be one of the things motivating the reasoning behind being concerned about this. But as far as I'm aware, there's, like I said to start with, as far as I'm aware, there's not good human evidence validating that you need to have those concerns. And also I'll note that the sorts of injuries that you might see at the shoulder tend to be quite a bit different than what you'd be looking at with quadricep to hamstring strength ratios. Like the direct analogy for a hamstring strain would be a bicep strain, for example. Not just kind of general shoulder ouchies. And the analogy for an ACL strain would be some sort of strain or tear of the ligaments of the elbow. Those would be the direct analogies you could draw from that.
And before a physical therapist gets angry and corrects us, we're talking about spraining ligaments, not straining them.
Yes, correct. But yeah, so I mean, like the sorts of injuries that you would directly analogize from the quadriceps to hamstring strength ratio stuff aren't even the types of injuries that people are concerned about when you talk about shoulder injuries that you might get from lifting or other sports. So I don't know that the analogy really holds up. And ultimately, reasoning from analogy is a very weak form of evidence. Ideally, you would have direct human research on the thing you're interested in. So yeah, I mean, my general take on it is that for most people who are lifting, it certainly doesn't hurt to do more pulling. Little bit of extra bicep work, you're gripping onto the implement, might grow your forearms a little bit, having a jacked back, huge lats, huge traps. That's a very cool physique, and I'm not aware of any lifting related pursuit where that would be a hindrance to you. So yeah, I mean, I think that if you are concerned that you need to do a certain amount of pulling per set of pushing you do, I don't think that's going to hurt you at all. I think that's if it does turn out to be an incorrect idea, the direct applications you would draw from that idea, I don't think are particularly deleterious. So if that does turn out to be misinformation, it's not harmful misinformation, so I don't care that much. But as best I can tell, there's not good, reliable human data to suggest that you need to do a set of pulling per set of pushing in order to preserve shoulder health.